Hi there on this lovely Thursday. It is that time of the week again for me to share a thought with you, things that have been stirring up inside of me this week, and maybe in the hope that it might stir something up in you as we try to make sense of how we live our lives as followers of Jesus in the world around us. This Sunday is the Sunday we're going back into our building. We've been out of it for the last nearly 6 months now, and it's time for us to go back in and worship God together. And even this week already activities have started in our church already. Those groups that hire out our hall for their gatherings have been back. Some new ones have joined up, and so there's been a lot of buzz and activity going on in the building already this week. Last night there was a dance group in, and they had the doors open for good ventilation, and we could hear their music playing. And it was lovely just to hear sound coming out of that building. And we've been in our church car park for the last month and a half or 2 months. We've been meeting there every second Sunday, and the sound has been traveling across Cookstown. I recall one Sunday somebody posting on Facebook that they were living down in another part of Cookstown, and they could hear the music coming from our drive-in service. And so while we've been out of our building, the sound of what we are doing and the message that we have to share has been traveling out of our building into the neighborhood and the community around us. My worry is that when we go back into our building, that stops, and as a church we become silent. And I don't mean just us as Cookstown Methodist Church, but the Church of God becomes silent once again. It's really important that that doesn't happen. It's really important that we are still heard, that we do not become silent in the world around us, and we do not allow the world around us to silence us. Jesus tells us in Mark 16, he tells his disciples, he tells us that we must go into the world and preach the gospel. We must go and tell people about Jesus. In Psalms 96 and 98, what we read is that all of nature shouts for joy, sings praises to God. It talks about the rivers clapping their hands, about the sea resounding with joy. Nature cannot be silent about God, and we should not be silent about God either. So on Sunday we're going to go back in there, and instead of me preaching out in the car park and the sound traveling from the speakers out onto the streets of Cookstown, we're going to be preaching in the building. And the message will go out online like this one is, but we will still be in the building, and the message will be shared in the building. Let's not slip back into that comfortable place where we were before, where everything that we do happens in the building and remains in the building. We cannot be silent. We mustn't be silent. And so while my voice might be preached in the building, you are the ones that go out into the world. You go out into the workplace and into your schools and into the shops and into your family homes as you visit with your family bubbles. And you must not be silent. Somebody recently asked me, was talking to them about their newfound faith in Jesus, and there were some questions that they were asking me about that faith and how they live it out. And one of the questions they asked is secular work a rejection of the kingdom? What this person was thinking was, as a follower of Jesus, they should be doing God's work in a church or some sort of missionary setup. But the reality is this, is that secular work is the front line of the work of the kingdom. I said to him, I spend most of my time speaking to other ministers or people in the church. I spend most of my time speaking with other Christians. But you who are in secular work, you who are working in offices and in schools and in hospitals, you are at the front line of the kingdom. You are the ones who are encountering people who need to hear the message of the gospel. It is important that you do not remain silent or allow yourself to be silenced. These last 6 months have actually been fantastic for the church. We might not have been able to meet in our building, and maybe that was something difficult for us to grasp in the beginning. But what we have discovered is suddenly our voices are carrying out further than they have ever before. that through these online messages we are connecting with people all over the world. That by preaching out in the car park and having the voices and the songs blaring out of the speakers, people living down the road from us, people walking past our church are suddenly hearing things that they've never heard before come from this place, because we have been comfortable in our building and we have been silent to the world around us. Let's not be silent anymore. As we go back into our building, let us continue to get that message out there. Let us continue to share the gospel of Jesus, what we have seen and what we have heard and what we know about Jesus. Let us not be afraid to share with others. Let's not be silent anymore. Have a wonderful week, folks. I do hope and pray that you are taking care of yourselves, that you are well, that you are keeping yourself safe. May God bless you. May God watch over you, and may you know His presence each and every day of your life, that He is there with you, that He loves you, and His love knows no bounds. God bless and goodbye.